Hello, good morning. Happy Wednesday. How you all doing today? We've we're continuing on with the diesel course and Tekka Tao. Hello, how are you doing? I saw that you had said that next CRM tutorial. I'm not exactly sure when that will be. I did add that to my list. I have no idea if you're here either too, because you had mentioned this in the chat over half an hour ago. So if you are here, add it to the list. If not, then maybe you'll see it in the VOD. Okay, so let's talk about where we're going. If I remember correctly, we have this test, but really to be part of this test, we also want to look at. Okay, I don't have. Oh, I remember now. This is getting started here. This is what I wanted to look at. We have our okay, so our migrations, which I like these migrations a little bit more. It's actual just pure SQL. So I need to reload where the tutorial is. Okay, so we're good to go. So we installed things. That's great. Send up diesel. Okay, we did the generate for that. It created these files for us. Next, we'll write the SQL for migrations. Okay, so we're going to add these in. So let's copy you. So create table posts. Okay, so we're going to have ID, which is going to be serial. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to auto increment for us. It's the primary key. We have a title that cannot be null, and it's a varchar. And if I remember correctly, a varchar without a number on it is defaults to 255. Body will be text, so basically as big as possible. Also cannot be nulled. Published, Boolean, not null, default false. Okay, so there we go. Everything's looking good there. I do like to end these on semicolons, even if it's one thing. I don't think you need it. But I'm pretty sure that if you did multiple statements in one of these, then you would need that. So I'm going to add that semicolon to that. Okay, and then down, drop table post. So just undo what we'd had for up, which makes sense, right? Create posts. Okay, so then we have down. We can apply our new migration. Okay, so diesel migration run. Let's see if this works. Where should I put this? I will. Let's do a terminal window down here. Asitsu, hello, how are you doing today? Okay, so if we do a diesel migration run, is that an info? Oh, I bet I have info stuff up. But I think that worked, right? So we should be able to log in and take a look at this, right? So if I do a docker exec, that's Postgres, no, PSQL. Did not find any. Okay. Yeah. Diesel migration run. That is what I ran, right? You're doing great. You're finally starting your processing or your process of publishing everything. Nice. Where do you publish these days? I know like a lot of people have different, sort of opinions of where things should go. And I usually default to AWS because I have an account on there, and it's easier to pay less, like to pay more to one like service and less to and just like not add more accounts on. Like I usually find it's easier just to like, oh, I'll just pay AWS a little bit more. Okay, so is there any have some info. Now, do I have, like, if I look at echo, like rust log? Rust log. Okay, so let's... Okay, am I supposed to have any... I didn't see that. We have the migrations there. I mean, that should work, right? You're still experimenting with a GitHub app hosted on Shuttle, but there's supposedly a big announcement soon that may upend everything. So that's one of the problems about going with like the latest and greatest tools like Shuttle is that whenever they change, it's big changes usually. And of course, that means our workflows are broken, which for personal projects, usually not that big of a deal. For more professional projects, yeah, that can be a bit rough. So hopefully everything's fine. Okay, so why did this not work? Or maybe it did work. Let's try this. Let's connect back into our database again. Let's actually, I actually want to take a look. So here's our .env. So Postgres, keyboard cat, localhost 8432. Yeah, that should be fine. So if I look at Docker PS, we have 8432. Okay, that looks fine. And it is a Postgres image. Okay. So if I do a Docker exec again, we're going into that one. Okay, so user Postgres. Did not find any relation. So it's supposed to be creating a table. Posts. I mean, that's what we want. And you are connecting to, Diesel demo. That's the problem. I'm looking at the wrong database. That's what it is. Okay, so I need to, I think it's like use. Or connect. Hold on. Connect to a new database. Okay, so it's \c. That's what it is. So \c. There we go. Diesel demo. There we have it. Now we can see the posts and we can inspect the posts and see we have an ID that is auto incrementing our title, character varying, body text, publish Boolean. Okay, everything's looking good. Character varying, it doesn't exactly say how many we can do, but I still believe that it's around 255. Renato, hello. How are you doing today? Ciao. There hadn't been an update in a few months, so you update the runtime, and the next day there was a new release. Oh no, I hate it when that happens. That's never a fun thing. Okay. Diesel migration redo. It's a good idea to ensure that down.sql is correct. You can quickly confirm that your down SQL rolls back your migration correctly by redoing the migration. Right, so it's gonna, because our up here doesn't say create table if not exists. So therefore, if it doesn't exist, it'll error out. So that's why redo will work. So come here and we'll do a Diesel migration redo. Rolling back, running migration. Okay, perfect. Now, for those of you who are curious about this, the migrations show up in the table. So like, it doesn't really matter which tool you're using for migrations. They always have a table in the database. And so this one is __diesel schema migrations. And so if you just look at this, so table like that, you can see, okay, we have version, and then that's the name of the file. Or specifically, it's the date part of the file. And so if we look at these, that's that, right? So before this first underscore, that's the name part of this. And then it has run on, and so it figures, it just basically does a now when it adds it in there. And so this is how it knows not to run that migration again. Because if I do another run on this, it's going to say like, well, I see this one, don't need to run it. I see this one, don't need to run it. And easy, right? You're working on automating the release process, and then you can start releasing dozens of crates. Used an app called TaskHeat on macOS and now have a big graph of work. It has been daunting, but you're finally committing to it. Nice. I've always liked to just do them as I get to them. I don't have any like automated deployment type things. That might be interesting to do someday though. Okay, so we have Diesel. Okay, so we have that. A note on raw SQL migration. Since migrations are written in raw SQL, they can contain specific features of the database system you use. For example, the create table statement above uses PostgreSQL serial type. If you want to use SQLite instead, you need to use integer instead. The Diesel GitHub repository contains modified examples for all supported backends. Be sure to select the backend. Yeah, so we're using Postgres too. If you prefer to generate your migrations based on Rust code instead, the Diesel CLI tool provides an additional diff schema on the Diesel migration generate command that allows to generate migrations based on the current schema definition and your database. To generate a migration equivalent to the shown raw SQL migration, you need to create a schema.rs file with the following content. Ooh, we haven't tried this before. I don't even know if they had this before. So schema.rs. So I'm assuming it's at the root of this project, right? So schema.rs, and we're going to throw, oh, so this is what, it's a macro. Okay, so diesel table. Is this a macro or should this go into source? Now I'm unsure. But okay. So if we do that, run diesel migration, generate diff schema, create post. This will generate both the up and down SQL files of your migration pre-populated with the relevant SQL. Oh, okay. Let's try, instead of post, let's just create this as like a test, something else. So let's say, I mean, I could just call it. Let's do the old good old pets. So we'll have our ID int4. We'll have name varchar. And I don't need any of those things. So if we do this, you're yelling at me because, right, it's not inside of source. I wonder if that's going to cause problems. Let's find out. So show where you're at, running this down here. So we're going to do a diesel is it migrations? Diesel migration generate diff schema create posts. I wonder if the name has to be based upon that. So if I do create pets, Oh, that's just what it named. Okay, cool. So it created that. Let's go take a look at this. So if we look at our, ooh, it didn't actually add this in here. Okay, so now it doesn't know about these migrations yet, so that's okay. So we can buffer close you, and I can remove migrations star pets star. Oh, because create pet. Okay, so hold on. We're gonna remove -rf migration for, I guess, star pet star. What's the worst that can happen? Okay. We haven't lost anything else. We still have initial setup and create posts. Okay, so I'm curious if we do a diesel migration help. Can I tell you where to put things or where to find it? Oh, interest. Oh, because it, okay, so hold on. It's diesel migration generate, right? Yeah. This schema. So if I do a help on here, different help. Yes, the last one's gonna be the name of the table, so the name of the file to put in. I'm so happy that now was it Diesel before, or was it CORM that didn't have a down by default and he had to do the -u to like add down in? That was weird. Diff schema. Populate the generated migrations based on the current difference between your schema.rs file and the specified database. The oh equals. You don't say equals. Okay, so maybe it's actually okay here. So this schema equals schema.rs and let's see. Then the next one is create pets. Okay. That's it. That's did it. Interesting. Up does a drop table if exists. That's not what I would do. It's very opinionated. The drop table if exists, create table pets. ID is an int for not null primary key. This won't auto increment it. So I sort of feel that this still needs to be sort of finagled a little bit. Like I wouldn't do this because if I run this again by accident for some reason, if things get out of order, I don't want it to like, I don't want the up to delete things. That feels like a down thing to do. And I want you to be serial because we're in Postgres. Not null, primary key. So you don't need. Also, Are the quotes here okay? Will this even work? Now I'm curious. Let's do a diesel. Okay, yeah. So it works, and do a DT. Okay, so we have pets now. What happened to my... Oh, weird. What happened to my user, my posts? Okay, hold on. So let's do a diesel migration. Is it rollback? Down? Revert. Okay, so we have run, revert, redo. Okay, so I probably want to revert. Okay, so we're at the basics here. So if we look at that, we have no tables running. Okay, excellent. So now we can do a diesel migration run. It should run both those. Okay, so create posts, create pets. I just have pets. Yeah, this should run create table posts. Whoa, that drop table is for posts. Oh, I see. I see what it's doing. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Okay, so it does mention this here, and I think that I didn't really understand it. I do now, though. Okay, if you prefer to generate your migrations based on Rust code instead, the DSeal CLI tool provides an additional diff schema on the DSeal migration generate command that allows you to generate migrations based on the current schema definition and your database. So basically, it's a diff. It looks at your database and it says, here's what your database has, here's what your schema has. We're going to create a single migration file to make them the same, with the schema being the source of truth, essentially. So because I had in the database, the post table already there, it created a drop table if exists posts, which is not what I wanted. So if you're going to use schema, you have to stick with schema and do schema from nothing. Otherwise, you're going to get not great results. I know, to drop post. I didn't like. I saw the drop post, and for some reason my brain read it as drop pets, and I was like, oh well, that's interesting to drop the pets if it exists, but okay, whatever. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, that's dropping the posts. App, hello, how are you doing today? Okay, so good to know. I don't. The other problem here is for schema like this. Yeah, okay, so Rust Analyzer can't offer IDE services. I can't force it to run this, right? So I think what we need to do, let's buffer close you. Because if I was going to use like a schema like that, I would definitely want it to have the services. So let's move schema.rs into source. and try this now. Not included anywhere in the module tree. Okay. So let's mod schema. I don't need to be public. Okay, there we go. So diesel table like that. We have our pets. We have our ID. Now, what if I don't want this to be an int4? What if I want this to be serial alias for integer? Is there like an increment? No. Okay, so if I use serial like that, name, now I'm actually interested in this. So varchar, can I convert? Can I say something like no? Varchar is a full struct. Ooh, I don't even see where I can like pull this in like that and do something like that either. Car. This type is generally interchangeable with text. So Diesel has this as an alias rather than a separate type. Oh. Oh. That means you can't limit the number of characters really. It's like you can be as long as you want. Name, it's going to be forever. So because of this, I'm really hesitant to even suggest using schema.rs. Because like if you want auto incrementing, it's not going to be auto incrementing. It's just going to be integer. Okay, so that's under create SQL types integer. Can I SQL types? Oh, you're super unhappy. It won't. Because there's integer. Not incrementer, not auto, and serial. Yeah, none of those are what we want. Okay, so good to know. I don't like it. I don't think I want to even teach it. I don't think that that's a good idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove source schema. Save you. Let's also roll back. Was it roll back? It was revert. Just revert the create pets. Well, no, we need to revert everything. And that's good. And let's then also remove the create the pets one. So that's going to be migrations star pets star. Okay, so now under migrations, yeah, we just have initial setup and create posts. Excellent. A note on using migrations in production. When preparing your app for use in production, you may want to run your migrations during the application's initialization phase. You may also want to include the migration scripts as part of your code to avoid having to copy them to your deployment location image. The diesel migrations crate provides the embed migrations macro, allowing you to embed migration scripts in a final binary. Once your code uses it, you can simply include connection run pending migrations at the start of your main functions to run migrations every time the application starts, which again should be fine because it stores in the database which migrations have won. So as long as you don't go mucking around in there, you're good to go. Okay, so that's cool. So let's as part of migrations and seeds, we're also going to include running migrations, including in the binary. This is embedding. Okay, so embedding migrations. Okay. Write Rust. Okay, enough SQL. Let's write some Rust. We'll start by writing some code to show the last 5 published posts, which we don't have any. The first thing we need to do is establish a database connection. Okay, so they're doing this in our live.rs, which we can do too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this entire window to the left, and let's full screen my main helix. And I'll take you and move that over to the right there. I know it's a little bit behind the chat, but I don't think it's going to be that. Hopefully it's not that big a deal. The important part is my code, right? I suppose also I could, you know what? We could try this again. What was it? It was Docker run. Oh, right. I even call that the diesel core stream. So that's a Docker start IT. Diesel TOML. Isn't it diesel core stream? Oh, is there no T when I do Docker start? Okay, so then I want to go to diesel.rs. Nope, that was wrong. Move you back over here. It's there. That looks to be, I think that's halfway, but we'll do this one. This will be fine. Okay. So we have getting started. We'll scroll down until we have, okay, so we did diesel setup, we do our migrations, we do all those things. Okay, here's our running Rust code. So in our main library, which we're in here, let's go ahead and just delete all that. And I'm going to no, I don't want to full screen you now. I just want to make everything else really small. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is establish a database connection. So interesting, you know what this is? This doesn't have the same problem on the main Firefox here. Because if we take a look at that, pub space function like that, for some reason, the markdown viewer in browse.sh is not like gets rid of the space in there, which is not great. Okay, pub function. All right, so let's establish connection, and this is going to return a PG connection, which should be essentially a pool on its own, which means we should be able to clone it and do all the fun stuff to it. Oh yeah, you know, it also doesn't do proper indenting. Okay, so we're going to load up .env. So .env, convert that to an option and just ignore it. So load up the .env file. We're going to let our database URL equal env var database URL, which is what we called it, right? Yes. Okay, so you want to expect, so that's fine. So we can expect. Now we can do an expect. I'm going to follow exactly what they're doing here, but normally I would probably install something like error and just return an error from this. So missing environment variable database URL. I know can I copy? Oh, I can't copy and paste from here either. That's fine. Oh, there's stuff off to the right that I can't see. Oh, that's too bad. It's probably just a semicolon. Then we're going to do a PG connection establish, and then pass it the database URL, unwrap or else, and then that just panics, right? So are you're unwrapping or else in order to have this custom error message, I suppose. So, sure, we'll do that. Unwrap or else. We don't care about the actual error in here. Panic. Error connecting to. Can I just put in database URL here like that? And no semicolon because I want to return the PG connection from this function. Okay. Import standard env. Perfect. Okay, so we have that function. We'll also want to create a post struct into which we can read our data and have Diesel generate the names we'll use to reference tables and columns in our queries. We'll add the following lines to the top of source librs. Pub mod models, pub mod schema. Okay. So, and then we're going to create a models and schema files node out. So I'm going to go ahead and cd into source. Let's touch models.rs and schema.rs. Oh, interesting. So that's where the schema comes in because we have to create the schema anyways. All right, that makes sense. All right, so given that, let's go ahead mod. Now you're pub modding them. Do we really need to pub mod them? Okay, so pub mod models. I guess you can't find them yet. Mod schema. Oh, I think I have to open up models. Open up schema as well. Now you're happy. There we go. Next, we need to create the two model modules that we just declared. Okay, so in the models file. Okay, so use diesel prelude. So I'll just let that auto create. We're going to have a pub struct post. And inside of here, we're going to derive queryable and selectable. Okay, so we can query it and we can select it with queries. Diesel, we have to tell it table name equals, okay, so create schema posts. From the schema, which we don't have set up. So this is going to be interesting. Now I can do create, just goes to the root. That's going to yell at me for a while because I don't think there is a post in schema, right? Yeah, it's just empty right now. Have we run? Okay, so diesel. Okay, so I ran that, and now if we take a look at schema, that's how it works. Okay, so now it has something in there. Okay, diesel, check for backend, diesel PG. Okay, so Postgres. I am hard coding in what database this is. I think that's okay because generally speaking, you don't change the databases that much. However, I have seen sometimes where you might want to say like, okay, I'm using SQLite when I'm developing locally and Postgres in production. Or in testing, like I might use SQLite for testing purposes. That being said, I think that's falling out of favor, and just especially with Docker, you can just spin up as many databases as you want. So this isn't that big of a deal. Okay, and so for our post, we have pub ID. And so our ID, we're going to make that be an I32. We have our title, which, okay, and we can actually see this from the schema here, right? So we have ID, title, body, and published. And so title, body, and published. So title, it's going to be a string. Body is a string. Published is a Boolean. And none of them are optional. All of them must be there. So we don't have to have any options here. Derive queryable will generate all the code needed to load a post struct from a SQL query. Derive selectable will generate code to construct a matching select. Okay, so what we expected. Typically, the schema module isn't created by hand. It gets generated by, yeah. So that's what we noticed also. A note on field order. Using derive queryable assumes that the order of fields on the post struct matches the columns in the post table. So make sure to define them in the order seen in the schema.rs file. I guess that makes sense. Okay, let's write the code to actually show us our posts. Okay, so we're going to have a show post rs. They're also putting this in a bin directory, which yeah, we didn't do that before. I guess binaries for running this later. I don't think I've used that before, that feature. I haven't really done much with libraries. Okay, well, that's touch source. I guess I need a make dir. So cd into source. Let's take a bind and let's touch show post rs. What? Main function not found in create show posts. Oh, okay. Function main. All right, so, oh, it has a use in here. Interesting. I wonder why they chose to put the use inside of the main function as opposed to up above it. Hedgehog, hello. How are you doing today? Did I finish my web Rust course? Yes. I think that might have been a while ago. So I finished. I have an Axum course and I have a U course on YouTube. And then I created another course for SQLX, Rust, and Docker. And I have those two. Those are paid courses that I have up on the LSP. And now we're starting to create one for Diesel, to sort of go alongside of SQLX. I hope that answered the question. Okay, so first we have our connection. We establish a connection, and it cannot fail because we just crash. So that's really cool, right? So let our connection equals. I've always found it's interesting when people decide to do this. Is like, hey, this is always going to be a mutable reference at this point, as opposed to let the rest of this know it. Like it feels like a little bit. I don't know. It feels lazy. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think I like it. That results equals. Okay, so now we're going to get into some fun stuff. So posts comes from, I believe, the models posts. Oh, is that why you use self schema post DSL? That must be what it is. Because I can't find this. So hold on. So if I do self schema, oh, it's not finding that. Oh yeah, it's not liking that at all. Oh, okay. Published. Equal true. Emit 5 of them. Okay, so this is fine. I'm starting to remember this now from when we were playing with Diesel before. It's like, okay, there's so many macros being used. Oh no, I think I'm outside of things. Okay, hold on. I put everything into filter. So let's redo this. Okay, so let's try what they're suggesting, because I'm a little bit unsure about this. Let's try this again. So they want us to use self models. Diesel demo models. Huh. So you want to use that. Oh, that works. Okay. Use diesel prelude. Let's see. You only saw one familiar book in Telegram. You're still sad because of Discord, Instaban in Russia. You need to find a way to use DPI on Linux. Hope to find time to learn Rust instead. Is DPI a language instead of Rust? I don't know if I'm familiar with that, or maybe I'm just being silly streamer brain. This diesel prelude. Oh, and then you have a use diesel demo star. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Then inside of here, use self schema. Now we get help with this. Self schema posts, DSL star, like that. Okay. So now we do let our results. This is gonna be, yeah, I'll call it results. Fine. Let results equals, so posts, which my guess is that it's coming from here, but it could also be coming from models. Okay, so posts. Which filter do I want to use? Or nothing? So filter published equal true. We're going to limit to 5. We're going to select post as select. We're going to load with the connection and then crash if it fails. So this is error loading posts. Okay. So if we get that, we can now print line and just saying displaying. Okay, and then we get the results length. So displaying X number of posts. Results that length. Interesting. It doesn't know what results is. That's not fun. Oh, DPI is Deep Packet Inspector. Oh, it's okay for controlling and monitoring internet traffic. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Yeah, some ISPs will do like that. That happens over here in the United States too. Is some ISPs, if they sense that you're using some what they consider hacking tools, they might just cut off your connection and ban you, or do other things. It's happened. Okay, so then for post in results, We're going to print line. We're going to do some print lines here. So we have the post title and we have the post body, right? So post dot title, which we're not getting help on here, which is not fun. If I save you, do I get help here? Print line. Oh, that's fun. Just a bunch of these and a new line. Don't I get a new line already with, oh, you want 2 new lines. That's probably what it is. Print line and post dot body. We don't get any auto completion help, which sucks. Okay, so filter. You're yelling at me because table is not an iterator. So what do we have different here? We have use diesel prelude, and then those came in. Use diesel demo star, okay. Oh, use diesel, okay, prelude star like that. Okay. That makes you happy. Now if I still don't get any help with that. So that wasn't the problem. Yeah, it would have helped to actually truly import all the items in Prelude instead of just importing the module Prelude. Would have helped, yes. Okay, so then this goes through like where we're getting things from. It's always important to keep imports to schema table DSL inside of the current function to prevent polluting the module namespace. We can run our script with cargo run bin show yeah, so if I ever have this like inside of other functions like get stuff or do stuff or whatever, yeah, we want to keep those inside of whatever function we're running with. We can run our script with cargo run bin or bind show posts. Unfortunately, results won't be terribly interesting as we don't actually have any posts. Okay, so let's write some code to create a new post. Stacking, hello, how are you doing today? Let's see. Next, okay, so creating a new post. We'll run a struct to use for inserting new record. I'm kind of surprised we didn't start with inserting a new record because obviously when reading them, unless you have some default, that would be like, you know, if we throw some in the database, that would be another thing altogether. And perhaps something I want to do here. So diesel CRUD operations. I might want to do create first before read all, and then the rest of them. Okay, so in the models file, we have a post. Okay, so we have a struct for a new post. So pub struct new post. Interesting. They're doing stirs, which of course requires lifetimes. Now it's not that big of a deal here because they're pretty simple lifetimes. But okay, so we don't have the ID, right? Because the ID is going to have a default one coming in. So yeah, we just have title, which you're going to have a stir. It kind of makes me wonder if like a string would work too, but I totally understand why they might want to say, hey, let's not have strings cloned all throughout. Okay, and then derive insertable. Okay, so we have insertable, and then we have a diesel thing. So table name posts. Okay, so this is going to insert into posts. Oh, huh. Because you have use create schema posts as opposed to this one here. Interesting. Can I tell you to find it? I can. Excellent. About to fire up some Diablo 4. Hope the DLC changed the game for the better, like it took the DLC in Diablo 3 to make it a good game. I even played. I don't think I play. I own Diablo 3 somewhere as a hard DVD copy, like somewhere in the house. I've never played it. I never booted it up or installed it or did anything else with it. And obviously, I've never played 4 either. I want to. Someday. Okay, so there we go with that. Now let's add a function to save a new post. So in our library, create a new post. Okay, so in the main library, we're writing the functions to actually do things, right? So like, interesting, why is this in the library? Values new post. Oh, because I'm handing here from another binary we're going to call this probably to actually insert it. That's what this is. This is what these are the functions I would probably put into like a database. I guess being a library would make sense for this. Okay, so pug function create post. So we're going to have our connection, which is going to be a mutable reference to a PG connection. We have our title, which is a stir, and we have our body, which is a stir. And we're going to return a full post, which is a models post. Interesting. Okay, so we use create schema posts here. So use create schema posts here. So let our new post equals new post, title, and body. And then we're going to do a diesel insert into post table, hand it the values, which is a reference to the new post. We want returning. What? Wait, how did that happen? Okay, so hold on. Values. There we go. Returning post as returning. So it should give us the full post back now using that, using the macros and that struct. Get result. Okay, so go ahead and run the thing, pass it in the connection, and then crash if this doesn't work. And then we return this. Okay, there we go. Diablo, bring me Kato. We can do that. I can do that. Kato is trapped up here with me because we have some people coming in and out of the house doing some stuff. Looks like Diablo has been summoned with the Diablo talk. Yeah. Your nickname predates Blizzard Entertainment Company. You're not a fan of the series. Really? Even like the 1 and 2? I did like 1, although I never finished it. And I did like 2, although I never finished it on my own solo. I did that all I played Diablo with well, friends. Coding Garden, hello. Thank you so much for the raid. Got a raid and run. Well, CJ, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you again. For everybody who just came in, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you had fun with CJ. And now we're working with Rust here. We're creating a course for Diesel, which is an ORM for Rust. So connecting to a Postgres database, running queries, and doing all that some fun stuff. We're going through the sort of like introduction walkthrough. I'm evaluating it to, and also looking to see what's changed since the last time I looked in here. Make sure that's good. And Diablo just asked us to grab Cato. So I'm going to go grab Zilby and bring him back here so we can all chat and say hi to Cat. Which I might be able to do now because he just walked in. Hi, you want to... I'm worried that might dox me because he's right in front of a window. So hold on, I'm just going to grab it. All right. We have Keto. Why am I a ghost now? I know. Ghost me and Ghost Cat. That seems a little bit interesting. Have I been a ghost this entire time? Oh, you dropped the ball. Okay, let me... I have been a ghost this entire time. Well, that's been fun. I had no idea. Okay, well, I can fix that as soon as we're done playing around with the cat. Are you done playing with your ball? Okay, you threw it. That... Okay. You need Orange King Channel emote. Oh, yeah, we need something like that. Fluff. Yes, Zilby is so fluffy. You keep on dropping your ball. Like, you have it for like a minute. Are you done? Okay. All right. Well, so Zilby's our stream cat. He's an orange fluff ball. He's a medium hair cat, so he has lots of long, long, fluffy hair. He is kind of purring, but not really. The fluffy king of little brain cells. No thoughts detected. Exactly. Are you just gonna hang out here, Zilby, now? I do have that emote. I do have the Zilby cool emote. But yeah, it would be nice to create. I added another Zilby based emote too. Was it him with a hat or something? I don't remember anymore. It's been a while. I do need to create some more Zilby emotes. All right. Zilby, do you want to hang out by the window? And now we can all. Okay, I tried to load up the Zilby cam, but of course he jumped down right as soon as I put him up there. Yeah, that's the one. Zilby Beret. Okay, back to this. Back to coding. So, for those of you who did come with CJ and are still here after the Zilby break, thank you for being here. If you have any questions about Rust or Diesel or coding or anything else, feel free to ask. If you were there, you would pick him up and squeeze him and kiss him and make unmanly noises. No regrets. I mean, that's what cats are for, right? Okay, so this creates a post. Now, my guess is, notes on returning clauses. Okay, so when we call get result on an insert or update statement, it automatically adds returning star to the end of the query and lets us load into any struct that implements queryable for the right types. Neat. Are you sure that it's not returning that needs that? Not all databases support returning clauses. On backends that support the returning clause, such as Postgres and SQLite. Oh, right, because MySQL doesn't return it. Doesn't support that, right? Oh yeah, and I'm Ghost. I need to fix Ghost. There. Because I have the windows open at different times of the day, even with the studio lights, I have to like constantly tweak that a little bit. Oh, it is October, so Ghost Cat does make sense. Ghost Cat summons Ghost Zoomies after you wish it was Ghost pooping. Yeah, well, that's today. This morning, Zilby did wake me up to say, "Hey, can you escort me to go poop?" That was fun, and then everything was fine and like no problems. He just didn't want to be alone. Okay, so do that. Not all database support. Yeah. Let's see. On a SQLite backend, returning has been supported since version blah blah blah. To enable returning clause, add feature flag returning clauses for SQLite. Oh, so it wouldn't work unless we also add in the feature for SQLite, but we're not using SQLite. MySQL does not support returning clauses. To get back all the inserted, we can call get results instead of execute. Oh, get results. If you follow this guide in a different database system, make sure to check out examples specific to your database system. That's okay. So we should probably add that in here. So should we do this? Probably before concurrency, maybe like it's like notes or something. Other databases, so like notes on MySQL or something like that. Not an addendum. What would the right thing be? It would what's the right word for this? Something that comes after. Comparison to backend of database backends feels long for a section, but also hello Skimmus. How are you doing today? I guess using we can just say like MySQL Diesel and MySQL considerations. And then we'll have so returning when inserting. An appendix? I could see that also. Maybe appendix. I sort of like think that this is sort of like a combination of both. Now, I know that MariaDB is sort of like a drop-in replacement for MySQL. Does MariaDB support returning? I don't actually know. Diesel can insert more than one record in a single query. Just pass a vec or slice to insert into, and then call get results instead of get result. Okay, so that's another thing here. So yeah, bulk inserts with Diesel. Okay, we have that. If you don't actually want to do anything with the row that was just inserted, call execute instead. The compiler won't complain at you that way. Now that we've got everything set up, you can create a little script to write a new post. Okay, so this is under a bind write post. So let's go ahead and create. So this is in source. Bind write post. Okay, and we want to use Diesel demo, everything in here, and then use I guess, yeah, that makes sense. We're going to standard in a read. So we're going to, it's going to ask questions to read, aren't we? So recruiter connection equals, all right, we're doing this trick again. Establish connection. That mute title. Okay, so initialize a title. Initialize our body to be an empty string also. Print line. All right, so we have what would you like the title to be? And then we have standard in. Read line. And then we read mute title into there. And sure, we're just unwrap instead of our expects. We're done with those. And we do the same thing with the, we trim end. Okay, so then I guess we shadow the title. So trim end, return to stir. How is that going to work? Isn't that going to... Huh. Okay. Doesn't that make it... So like, because the string that it's getting the slice from is gone now, right? Maria is generally a spec compliant. Only changes are backwards compatible. Okay, so it does support returning because that doesn't break anything. How many people have written returning in on MySQL statements and it will break everything if they switched over to MariaDB and was like, well, I just wrote returning in because I knew it wouldn't do anything and whatever. That'd be hilarious. Spacetime DB, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome raiders. How you all doing today? And Spacetime, what are we working on? How's your stream? The hello, how are you doing today? Diablo, not saying it does or doesn't do return, just saying it could exist. Ah, okay. So we don't know if MariaDB supports return or not. 3Blave, hello, how are you? Working on building a custom Minecraft server on type of Spacetime DB. Well, I guess. Or are you Spacetime DB? Are you like the maintainer / creator of Spacetime DB? I'm trying to remember if I don't think I've ever used it before. But that sounds pretty cool. We're currently working on creating, or the early stages of creating, a course for Diesel, which is an ORM for databases, and specifically we're following it for Postgres. Although I'm gonna have like a section on MySQL because that's still pretty popular, as much as everybody in chat would like to complain about it. You worked as a quasi DBA for MySQL customers, but all your actual SQL authoring time has been spent on PSGA. Okay, PGS. Yeah, so yeah, Postgres is like what I would prefer to use, but like for my professional experience has been both Postgres and MySQL. Usually MySQL if I've inherited the project, and Postgres if I've created the database there. That's usually what I found. You and 3Blade both work on Spacetime DB, but there's also an entire team behind the database. We have a website as well if you're curious. Cool, yeah, let's take a look. Is it just Spacetime DB? Oh, it's for multiplayer gaming type things. Oh, that's cool. It's both a relational database and a server combined into one. Instead of deploying a web or a game server that sits in between your clients and your database, clients connect directly to the database and execute your logic inside the database itself. So I assume that you have good authentication sort of built into that to work with that. That sounds pretty cool. Those are some good names to have. Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm going to add this to my list of things to check out. Oh, nope. Move over here. Check out Spacetime DB. So this is relational database and server all in one. Cool. Yeah, so I will add that to my backlog of things to check out. I have a lot of things in my checkout sort of list. So when we get to that section, I've been rotating through all the different things that I do on stream. So eventually exploration will come back around again. And I don't know what, I don't know. Like I have so many things to look at. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get there. But yeah, this looks pretty, this looks pretty cool. I almost would feel like I want to create a game with it to try it out too. Yeah, and the website does look pretty slick, especially this. I love these little sort of graphics. Is this a video or is it a GIF? And we can just take a look at it. Wait, is this your background? Oh, you support Unity 3D out of the box, but Godot and Unreal or Godot and Unreal Engine are coming as well. Nice. Spinny thing is a GIF. Okay. That kind of makes sense because you're not like, it's just repeating over and over again. I do remember that some people have done some interesting, fun things with, what are they called? SVGs for animations. So every once in a while I wonder, like when I see a really nifty, complex animation, if it's like a SVG too. Yeah, I haven't really ever used Godot either. I've used although now apparently there's like a big Godot managed to now have a controversy online, and so does that mean people are going back to Unity now that Unity has sort of like rolled back a bunch of their changes and fired their CEO? Like at this point in time, it's getting hard to now track which game engines have the least number of controversies surrounding them. Oh, 1.0 is also on the way. Ooh. Maybe okay, so when 1.0 comes out, I want to check. I want to take a look at it when that drops. Okay, so we looked at that before. I now say Godot because it's it actually says in here. How do you pronounce Godot, Godot? And I believe it says pronounce it however you want. However, is it in? Do you have anything in here about it? Where did we find that? We found it somewhere on their webpage. In their docs? No, okay. So I don't know. Did they change this? This looks different. All right. I'm not sure where we found it before anymore. I guess like the name? It's like actually just helpful things. Maybe introduction. Oh, frequently asked questions. Come on, why do these questions have to be so helpful? Why can't it be troll questions like how do I pronounce Godot? Godot. Godot. Ah. Community? No. The introduction. Oh, about? No. Yeah, that's the board before you start. That doesn't have anything in here. Anyways, okay, so if I remember correctly, somewhere in here, we had found that Gato was named after the play. Where I did have it in here. It was a Gato play. Oh, come on. What? You okay. Fine. We'll use Google. Waiting for Gato. And waiting for Gato is pronounced like this. God-O. And I wonder if I can do... Maybe you have it? Yeah. Godot game engine. Pronounced. Godot. It's in Wikipedia. It has to be true, right? I don't know where, if like it has in the external links, like how to pronounce it. That'd be pretty cool if they had this in here. It has a discussion on the name. Yeah. Oh, in the article, if you search for name. There we go. The name Godot was chosen due to its relation to Samuel Beckett's play Waiting for Godot, as it represents the never-ending wish of adding new features in the engine, which would get it closer to an exhaustive product, but never will. So because it's based upon that play, and that play's name is pronounced Godot, that's why I think the primary pronunciation is Godot. So basically, I'm just doing what they chose when I say Godot. Let's see. I missed something. Oh, Kubiliam. Hello. How are you doing today? Oh, you have a video. Oh, where the developer talks about that. Okay. Oh, so Chantel, you asked why are the major studios quitting Unity forever? Well, they quit Unity forever, and now some of them are coming back, I think. So Unity had, for those of you who don't know or weren't in game dev a year or two ago, Unity changed their pricing to basically say that if you make a certain amount of money, you owe them way more than previously. And so basically, the general idea was that now you'd have to start paying a lot more for Unity as a smaller individual like creator. And obviously that pissed off a lot of people. Something that Unity has never rolled back that is really, really bad is that if you use Unity for non-game development, you are screwed really hard, and they've just let that sit the entire time. The company that I've worked at, sort of like day job for uses Unity to create VR applications for non-game usage. That's bad. They have to pay so much more for licensing to use Unity now. It sucks. It was more about the per install fees. It was something like that, right? It was like the number of times that it was like installed and used counted towards how many like the license count that you got, or something like that. I don't remember exactly more. They've been rolling that back like continuously over the last year though. So it's getting better again, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what game engine is like won't get you canceled for using? It's rough. Okay, anyways, let's jump back into our original purpose, which is Diesel. Diesel and Postgres here. So we get the title. Now we trim end, which I'm a little bit weirded out by doing trim end on this and then shadowing title, because we kind of lose the string, but whatever. I guess that's the thing we're doing. So then we do it a wait, what? What would you like your title to be? So centered in read line title. That title goes this. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. New line. Okay. Let's write title. I see what they're doing. They're just like, hey, let's write the body for title. Let's title press EOF end of file when finished. New line. Why do you have a comma there? We don't need a comma. Standard do. Okay, so standard in. Read to string. Okay, this one we're just reading to string. Interesting. Okay. Read a string. Oh. Now I stop. There you go. Okay, read a string, pass it in, mute the body. Okay, so read that in there, unwrap you, and then let our new post equals create post, where you have to pass it the connection, the title, and the body. But the body needs to be a reference to that. And then we're going to print line. I also like with new lines with this. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Save draft. Title. With ID. Posted ID. Okay, so we can actually see that we have that. Did I get help with this ID? We do get help with the ID. Okay, so that's at least nice. Oh, this is where it is. Okay, this is where the EOF comes in. So const EOF end of file, which is a stir. So control plus D. Yeah, so if it's a Unix, if it's a Nix like, I think is what it's called, it's gonna be control D. So config not Windows. And then config Windows. Oh, you probably don't want that to be the same thing. Control Z. Okay, you're happy. Okay, so now we can run a new script with bin bind write post. So now I can make this nice and big. All right, so let's do a cargo run bind write post. Oh, it's dash dash. Okay, this will take a little bit of time to compile, but then we'll be able to write our post. Tea Kettle, are you taking off? Oh yeah, you are. Well, have a great rest of your day, and thanks for hanging out. It has been a while. Okay, what would you like the title to be? So let's just do like Ode to Zilby. All right, let's write Ode to Zilby. Zilby is the best. He is an orange cat and always gets his brain cell. I'm not being held hostage. Blink. Blink. Okay, and then Control D. So Control D, save draft, Ode to Zilby with ID of 1. Excellent. So now I should be able to do cargo cargo run. What do we have in here? Cargo run show post. So cargo run bind show posts and see. Oh, we have 0 posts. That didn't work. Unfortunately, running show post still won't display our new post because we saved it as a draft. That's what it is. Okay, we have to update it. That's why. If we look back to the code and show post, we added filter published equal true. We did do that. We need to look at how to update an existing record. First, let's commit. Okay, whatever. Why should we commit? What could possibly go wrong with our code? So publish post. All right, so that's gonna be next. We want to touch, publish, post address. We're going to have a function main. All right, so use self schema post. Oh, right. And I keep on forgetting we should start with this, right? So use, I don't think it's self models. I think it's, we just start with the diesel demo models post. Use diesel prelude, and I suppose we'll bring everything in this time. Use diesel demo, everything in there. Okay, so posts, DSL, posts, and published. All right, so let our ID. Come on. Let our ID equal. Okay, so we have to get, from the args. So we know that we published post with ID 1, I believe, previously. So we want this to, I guess we just grab this from args. So args. And so just get the first one. Expect post requires a post ID. Okay, so publish post requires a post ID. And then we're going to parse this into an I32 because that's what we set the post ID to be. And expect invalid ID. I would probably say something like also must be a number or something like that. Okay, then we create our connection. So let our connection equals mute establish connection. Let our post. Okay, so we have to, we're just going to go straight to update. Okay, so diesel update. So posts, we have to find by the ID. Now find, that won't tell me what that is. Okay, that's interesting. Attempts to find a single record from the given table by primary key. Otherwise, I think we would want to use filter, right? If there was multiple of them that we wanted to update, we would probably use filter, but this is find by ID, so find, pass it the ID. And okay, so we can now set published to be equal to true now. We want to returning. Again, we're sort of having trouble with the LSP is sort of helpful, but not fully. Okay. Now we get help with that. So post as returning get result singular, pass the connection, and unwrap. Unwrap. And then we can just print line published post that title. Okay. What are you upset about? It does want this to be get result. Okay, so what am I missing up here? Lud. Huh. Use diesel. I shouldn't need this. Right? Okay, so import diesel query DSL. Now there is the self models post. So I just did diesel demo models post. Use diesel prelude. But what happened to prelude? Did I not have that? Use diesel. I thought I brought in prelude this time. Okay. I apparently completely forgot it again. So that was fun. Okay, so now we should be able to publish post 1. So we see, okay, save draft O to Zilby with ID 1. So now I can do a cargo run bind publish post 1. Published post O to Zilby. Excellent. So now if I say, give me show posts, here is O to Zilby, and we have Zilby is the best. He is an orange cat. I am totally on my own, not being held hostage by our cat. Okay, perfect. Additionally, let's implement a possibility of fetching a single post. Okay, so that's like a get one type thing. We display the post ID with its title. Notice optional call. This returns option post instead of throwing an error, which we can then use in our, by getting by ID. So that's what we're doing. We're going to get by ID. So get post here. So it's new. This is get post rs. I'll probably write it like get post by ID, but whatever. Okay, so use create. No, not create. Diesel demo models post. Use diesel demo star. Use diesel prelude star, so I don't forget it this time. We have our function main. Use self schema post DSL posts. Okay. All right. So let post RID equal. So we have the args they're going to grab from standard and env args. We want the first one. We expect get post requires a post ID. We're going to parse this into an I32 and expect invalid ID. Okay, so that gives us a post ID. Next up, get our connection. After that, let post equals, okay, then we're going to find the post. So let our post is now going to be post find. We have our post ID. We want to select everything. So select post as select. So get everything. Get our first. Ended the connection, and optional, meaning that it is possible that it won't find anything at all. And then, okay, so now they're doing a match post. I probably wouldn't do this. I'd probably do like an if let or something, but it's fine. So match post. Okay, so we have, let's just, what? Oh, interesting. I was kind of expecting it to auto complete this, but it didn't. All right, so if it's an okay, oh, because some, okay, so post, oh, interesting. So I would probably, I mean, if we're unwrapping everything already, why not unwrap here too? Okay, so unwrap some, our post. That's probably why it doesn't know how to like auto complete and fill out the match. Okay, so we have some, okay, so we have the post, we can print line post with ID. I mean, I can also just give this post ID, right? That's fine. As title. Whoa. As title. Post that title. That, okay. Ooh, you don't know how to help me. That's not great. Okay, none is going to be a print line unable to find post with ID. Post ID. And then we have an error, which I guess we're ignoring what the error is. Print line. So this should really be an ePrint line. An error occurred while fetching post with ID. Post ID. Okay, so we have that. We're good to go. No errors. So I can now run cargo run bin get post. So, okay, let's get post 1 first. Okay, so post ID with 1 has title ode to Zilby. Perfect. And if I try to get 2, unable to find post with ID 2. So it really needs to like be something completely else for us to get the error state. We've still only covered 3 of the 4 letters of CRUD though. Let's show how to delete things. Sometimes we write something we really hate and we don't have time to look up the ID. So let's delete based on the title or even just some words in the title. Okay, so we're probably gonna do like a where delete. Okay, so so delete post. All right, use diesel demo star use. Oh, interesting. Okay, we don't get the posts. I guess for gets for updates we don't do that. So diesel prelude And sure, I'll just go ahead and grab it now. Nv args, I want the function args. Okay, use self our schema posts DSL do. Okay, so we have that. Let our target. Oh, right, because this is going to be the title. So target equals args and I guess I have to put this in quotes to make it like one thing as opposed to like just give me all the things in the args. Okay, so we expected a title to match against. Let's see. The Halu. I've heard of both Diesel and CORM tangentially. Are there any notable differences or any reason you choose to explore one over the other? So I put CORM into the Axum course, and I had purposefully not done that with Diesel because at the time Diesel took so much longer to get set up and running, like way too much longer to get set up. It looks like they fixed that. They made things a lot better. The getting started guide is actually good now, as in it works and gets you going. So I'm happy with that. I think that like migrations and we haven't checked seeds, so I don't know about seeds yet. But migrations and Diesel I like a lot more than CORM. CORM is way more sort of like Rust code as migrations, which you might like for the migration side, but the seeds they also put into the migrations, which isn't good. I don't like that at all. Let's see. Other big difference. Both are super macro heavy, which is gonna cause the LSP to go crazy. So unfortunately, neither of them really help with that. CORM was pretty good and easy to work with just in general. And then I can't remember what the big differences are for Diesel and CORM off the top of my head. Like besides that. Like I want to say that you have to write a lot more structs with Diesel, but we haven't explored like they're in version like 2 now, right? So they've had some updates since we last looked at them. In the end, though, I'm not actually sure it matters that much. Like I think both of them are decent ORMs for usage, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend one over the other at this point in time. Does that help? It's sort of like a non-answer, unfortunately. Okay, so we get our target that we're looking at, and okay, yeah. So then let our pattern. This is going to be what goes into the like query. So we're going to format it. We're going to create a new string with do that and that. Nope, that. We might as well put target in there. Okay, we'll get our connection. We'll get num deleted in case we match a whole bunch of them. Diesel. Okay, so delete. Posts filter. The title is like. Okay, so I'm not adding new things up here, so that's good to know. So the title is like, and then we just hand it the pattern, right? Okay. Execute because we don't need anything back. And the connection. And we're expecting this one because error deleting posts. Okay, and then we'll print line deleted num deleted posts. Okay, let's see how this works. So we're going to do what did I name it? Ode to Zilby, I think. So if I just do ode, that should work. So if I do cargo run find delete post and then quote, so I want ode to deleted 0 posts. Okay, fine. Oh, it does have ode to in the middle of it, but it's capital ode. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit tougher. I don't know if can you do an alike statement in SQL? Actually, that makes me really curious. So over here, LL, what am I doing there? So we have here we have in our posts. So if I just table the posts, we can see here's our ode to Zilby. If I do a select just the title, it will do ID and title from posts where title is like, I think it's single quotes. And if I do ode to like that, oh, it doesn't give me anything. Oh, it does have to match the capitalizations. Is there a way, is there like something very similar to like that doesn't care about the capitalizations? I'm just now curious. So I want the like statement. Okay, pattern matching. Okay, so underscore is any single character, percent is any sequence of 0 or more characters. Oh, wait, is it I like? The keyword I like can be used instead of like to make the okay, so it would be I like does match that. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, so I'm actually now curious. We have like this. Do they have an I like? They do have an I like. So I could totally do this. So run delete post ode to deleted 1 post. Okay, nice. This is, by the way, how I go through any tutorials is like I constantly distract myself by like, ooh, I know this thing of like how it works in a database. Let me see like how to do it here. And like I tweak slightly what I am like the tutorial that I'm going through that in my mind helps me with understanding more because I'm sort of like going around different contexts all at the same time. Okay, and that's the end of this. So that we've gotten through the getting started. Perfect. Now, we had a question. Oh, because they don't do relations in here. they don't do relations. So if I wanted to do getting started and we wanted a relation, we're going to have to create a new migration to add in a related. Okay, so we have posts right now. So should we have authors? I think we should. We should have posts and authors. And at this point in time, I'm okay with reverting the database because we've just deleted the one post that we had. So let's go ahead and diesel migration revert. There's nothing else for it to revert. So we're going to do a diesel migration generate, and we're going to call this create users. Okay. So create users up. So I want to do a create table users. We'll just have an ID, serial, primary key, and we'll have a name, varchar. I like to be specific. Not null, not default. Okay, that's fine. This is great. And then we want to go to create users down. So drop table users. Oh, right. Wait, there's something about this. I shouldn't actually call it users because there is a special table users in Postgres. I don't remember if the other databases have that. So it should be something like the blog users. Okay, so if I do blog users and then blog users like that. All right, perfect. All right, so that will create the blog users, and then I want another migration, but instead of create users, we relate. So add user to post. Okay, so this is gonna be alter table posts. I think because alter table posts, add a column. Add column, is it just one thing? I think add column user ID, which is going to be an int, and it relates references users ID. And then should this be add column in references? We could do this as not null. Okay. I wonder what's how things can work here. Okay, so I want alter table posts. This is now going to be a drop column. Drop column, user ID. Don't need anything else like that. Change you. I forgot a semicolon here. Create users, create users up. Okay, yeah, we have that as not null. Okay, so I think we're good to go here. This should create them and relate it. Let's see if this works. So we're going to do a diesel migration run. Failed. failed to execute query, your SQL goes here. Oh, it's the entire file. Your SQL goes here, alter table posts, add column, user ID, int not null, references users, ID, error database. Oh, because it's not users. It's not users. It's blog users. That's what it is. So now if we run you, there it goes. Okay, so it ran those. So now we should see. Oh, I keep on something like that. We have blog users and posts. If we have blog users, we see the ID and the name and the S posts. We now see the user ID. Okay, that looks good there. You do like that Diesel uses SQL to establish the databases instead of some random DSL language like ORM. Yeah, I go back and forth with that because something like in Laravel or Connects or Ruby's or Rails, I guess, their ORMs all use like the language of that they're written in order to like work with the database and do everything. And I think that's fine. Rust does make it a little bit difficult, a little bit weird, and not nice as looking. So just using SQL, which is already strongly typed, so you kind of get what you want. However, in CORM, that one code will run on multiple database types. So there's that also to consider. Cernic, hello, how are you doing today? Okay, so this is good. So we have a relates to, we have some relative stuff. We do need to come up to here, and we have in our models, we now have to update and have a pub struct blog users, which I can actually just call user because create schema blog users, check for yeah, okay, so table name is blog users, check for backends, that's so good. And then if I remember correctly, we have a pub ID, which is 932, and a pub name, which is a string. Okay, so that's good. We have this. I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Okay, so we've got you. If we head over to that schema, there we go. Okay, so we have everything. There we have this joinable here like that. So I want to see like the joins before we do our experiment, and then another one which will just add in there something. Oh, like we do a tag. Like we can do some tags too. Okay, so let's maybe just for fun, let's insert into blog users name values. Let's say here Brooks Zerker. So I am the only author here, right? And that should be table blog users ID 1 Brooks Zerker. Okay. Makes sense. Now if I wanted to like show we have to update a post. Yeah. So when we write a post, it's almost like I would need to create post with a connection to create post. We need our author ID. So user ID, which is going to be an I32. New post. Nope. Because new post we need to update as pub. Oh, because this one needs to be updated too. So pub user ID I32. User ID is an I32. Okay. User ID. Just do that. And so that then creates that. We get it back. Okay, excellent. All right. So just to be as simple as possible, let's just hard code one in because reasons, right? Lloyd, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was great to see like what are you working on? It was you're doing Code Crafters. I haven't done that challenge yet. But yeah, how are you doing Code Crafters? Okay, so now we create the post and it should come with the user ID, and then I also want to update the post will be fine, and then show posts. I want post title, post body. So here's where I want to grab everything. So how do I post title? We do like print line written by, or maybe we do something like this. Written by, and then this is almost like post dot user dot ID, but yeah, okay, so no field user on type diesel demo models post. So I need to join. So that's where we need to join these together, but I want to say that it's better than me just being able to do a join on this. Like not just select, because I think I could just do join, but I also want to say that there is a way to sort of get the entire thing with the relationship. And I'm not really sure how to do that. And I'm kind of out of time. So I think that's where we're going to leave this off. Let's update our README here. So 2 tables in the database. Can diesel relate them in code? And so the bulk insert joins with Tita. So I kind of wonder if there's also manual joins and sort of like auto magical joins, like the good ORM stuff. Yeah, the torrent one. Yeah. The course is coming along. We're pretty early on right now. We're still sort of like creating the plan for what all the lessons are going to be in it. And so we have written like the introduction to it, essentially. But besides that, we're sort of like going through and doing some tests of like, okay, what are the limitations of diesel? Can I do some interesting, cool stuff with diesel that may or may not be a good idea to do? Because that's besides the point, right? Because sometimes you can do things when you're not supposed to do them, and it's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's see. Looking through who I follow, I don't see anybody online on Twitch right now. And my suggested doesn't show anybody who's doing any kind of Rust stuff. Just a bunch of other games type things. So I think we'll skip the raid again. All right. So with that, I am the first step is always the hardest. Yeah, that's it. It does feel like the first step and the last steps, like those first and ends. Those are the hard ones. Rust Crew streams at the wrong times. There's just not enough of us right now, right? Like eventually, there'll be more. Okay, so no more streams for the rest of this week. I've got some other stuff coming up. The rest, tomorrow and Friday, unfortunately, so I can't stream then. But next week, hopefully, I should have several more streams. I usually come up with the schedule on the weekend, and then I post that into Discord, and also put them on YouTube as sort of like the scheduled stream. So Sunday late at night, early Monday morning, you should be able to see what those are depending upon your time zone. And what are the right times? Yeah, I don't know. Like right now is the right time. Yeah, Ray, Ray, are you going to stream? If you're going to stream soon, I'll raid you because you can raid people who are offline. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and end it. But then you have to hurry eating. I mean, yeah. Just end it. Okay, fine. I won't push you to eat super fast and, hurt yourself. I know. Okay, anyways, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been fun. It's been fun doing some diesel. Thanks for hanging out. If you came with the 2 raids, I will see you all next time, whenever that is. Have a great rest of your day. Join with Ray when Ray goes live. And with that, shout out Ray. Yeah, how do I do a shout out? I don't know if I have a shout out command. Nope, that's the wrong keyboard. I do shout out. Okay, shout out. There we go. Shout out to Ray March. Okay. So with that, I wasn't even following you, Ray March. Well, now I am. Okay. So you do boring stuff, don't miss it. All right, I might miss it. I have to go do lunch, and we have some other people coming in on the house. So sorry if I miss it. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.